Hello and welcome back to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young and the Olympics are still in full force, so I'll bring you up to speed. Track and field is always one of the main draws of the Olympics, and the US has represented well. Gabby Thomas took home the gold medal in the women's 200-meter race, and she won by a handful of meters. Thomas crossed the finish line at 21.83, making her the only runner in that race to finish under 22 seconds. Team USA's Brittany Brown got bronze, running a 22.20. Thomas is the first American to win an Olympic gold medal in the 200 since Allyson Felix won gold at the 2012 London Games. While the 200-meter is still basically a sprint, the 1500-meter is a little bit further. Still, American Cole Hawker shocked the world as he went on to win the men's 1500 in dramatic fashion. Hawker was in fourth place during the final lap, but with roughly 60 meters to go, Hawker gave one last push to pass the two medal favorites ahead of him and crossed the finish line in first. The scoreboard displayed that he had run an Olympic record 3 minutes 27.65 seconds to win gold. Hawker becomes just the fourth American to win an Olympic gold medal in the 1500. Team USA Yared Nuguse snuck in to get the bronze, running 3:27.8. It's the first time Team USA has had two medalists in the men's 1500 in 112 years. In the 400-meter race, we had one of the most thrilling finishes of the Olympics so far. American Quincy Hall won gold in the men's 400-meter, finishing the race in 43.4 seconds. He was by no means in front of the pack for a majority of the race, but overtook several opponents in the final 150 meters of the lap to win an incredible come-from-behind gold medal. In the field portion of track and field, two U.S. men's shot put athletes have been dominating the sport for years. For the third consecutive Olympics, Ryan Crouser became an Olympic champion, and Crouser opened with an excellent first-round throw of 21.64 meters, then improved upon that with a second-round toss of 22.69 meters, then progressed yet again with a third-round mark of 22.9 meters. All three of Crouser's throws were far enough for him to become the first shot putter in 128 years to win 3 consecutive gold medals. And also for a third consecutive Olympic Games, Crouser's longtime rival and Team USA teammate Joe Kovacs finished right behind him with a silver medal. Crouser described the two teammates going 1-2 in 3 straight Olympics as absolutely mind-blowing, and I have to agree with him. Speaking of throwers, Team USA's Valerie Allman became back-to-back Olympic champion in the women's discus throw on Monday. Allman grabbed the gold medal at the Paris Olympics with a throw of 69.50 meters. Now time to discuss the race that literally everyone's talking about, and rightfully so, the men's 100-meter sprint. American Noah Lyles made it clear for weeks that he planned to dominate the track throughout all the Olympics. He faced the toughest competition in the world in the 100 and held his ground. Watching the race live, it was virtually impossible to tell which sprinter won the race. At first glance, I sincerely thought Lyles finished third max. But the entire stadium and the entire world silently waited for the final times to be posted on the scoreboard. And when they did, shock spread throughout the stadium because Noah Lyles had won the gold medal with a time of 9.784 seconds. He earned the victory by beating the man with the world's fastest time this year, Jamaica's Keshane Thompson, by 0.005 of a second. It was the closest 100-meter final since at least Moscow in 1980, but even back then, the timers didn't measure down to thousandths of a second, so it might be the closest finish in Olympic history. American teammates Kenny Bednarek and Fred Kerley were also part of the final race for the 100-meter. Kerley came in third, earning bronze in 9.81 seconds, while Bednarek finished 7th with a time of 9.88 seconds. To put it in perspective, that means just 0.026 seconds separated a gold medal from 7th place. To quote Ryan Crouser, that's absolutely mind-blowing. Lyles has won his first Olympic medal, and a gold one at that, and he now carries the title of the fastest man in the world. Outside of the track, the U.S. is still racking up gold medals. Surfer Caroline Marks out of San Clemente, California, won the women's surfing gold medal on Monday in Tahiti. Simone Biles added yet another gold to her collection in the all-around gymnastics competition. Scotty Scheffler continued his absolutely historic year in golf by earning the gold medal in golf. Our men's rowing team took home a gold, as well as our women's foil team for fencing. Katie Ledecky brought home yet another gold in the 800-meter, Kate Douglas earned gold in the 200-meter breaststroke swim, and Amit Allure earned gold in women's freestyle wrestling. This only scratches the surface of all the medals the U.S. has won, and like I said last week, I could have a full-hour show covering all these athletes, and I still wouldn't cover all of them. One of the best stories revolving around the U.S. in the Olympics is the women's soccer team. In added extra time, the U.S. outlasted Germany in the semifinal round, winning 1-0 and advancing to the gold medal round. Sophia Smith became an Olympic and American hero when she secured the victory for the U.S. with her goal in the 95th minute. Goalkeeper Alyssa Naher also made a stunning save to preserve the win with just minutes remaining in extra time. The U.S. women's national team is the most decorated team in the women's game with 4 World Cup titles and 4 Olympic gold medals, but they haven't won a gold medal since 2012, and no player from that roster still remains on the team. The Americans will now move on to the biggest match of their lives against Brazil this Saturday at 8 a.m. This will be one of, if not the biggest events of the Olympics, so make sure you tune in. The U.S. men's basketball team propelled into the semifinal round after a huge win over Brazil, winning 122-87. The U.S. jumped out to an early lead and never looked back. Also in this game, Kevin Durant became the career leader in points for the U.S. in Olympic competition, passing Lisa Leslie for the mark during the Americans' quarterfinal game. Durant now has 489 points in his 4 Olympic appearances. Lisa Leslie finished her 4 Olympic appearances with 488 points and 4 gold medals. The game against Brazil was never close, but looking ahead to the semifinal round, a rematch with Serbia is in the cards. The U.S. and Serbia faced off in a preliminary match before the official start of the Olympics, and then again to open up the group stage, and the U.S. won both of those matches by fairly large margins. But with the stakes now significantly higher, it was anyone's game. Team USA and Serbia tipped off yesterday at noon. The Americans have defeated Serbia for a 3rd time and are now moving on to the gold medal game. They now move on to face France in the final round. Both the bronze and gold medal games for basketball will be tomorrow, with the bronze tipping off at 2 a.m. Pacific time and the gold medal game at 12:30 p.m. I personally won't be up watching at 2 a.m., but if you choose to, more power to you. The U.S. women's basketball team cruised past Nigeria 88-74 in the Olympic quarterfinal round on Wednesday. With the win, USA advances to face Australia in the semifinal round today at noon, so be sure to check that out. As of yesterday morning, the U.S. is still in the lead for all medals and is battling for the lead with China for gold medals. Team USA has 95 total medals with 33 bronze, 35 silver, and 27 gold. That was a lot, and it still doesn't even fully encompass all the stories and incredible events that are still taking place throughout the second week of the Olympics. Unfortunately, they're coming to a close, and the closing ceremonies are this Sunday. But it's been an incredible 2 weeks, and there's been so many awesome stories and so many incredible athletes from the U.S. and from around the world representing their countries so well in the biggest competition in sports. Next week, I'll hopefully go back to covering other sports, but in full transparency, we'll still probably have some Olympics news to report. Hopefully you enjoyed some NFL preseason games last night, and I'll talk more about it next week and bring you up to speed on some of the stories that are surrounding football and coming out of training camp. There's still been some fun and some not so fun stories in the baseball world and much more, so be sure to come right back next week to hear it all. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'm Cole Young, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.